Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first ever visit to Ethiopia, received by his Ethiopian counterpart Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali at the airport. Enthusiastic welcome from the Indian diaspora in Addis Ababa. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar holds bilateral consultations with Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Saar in Jerusalem. India commemorates victory in 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh lays wreath at the National War Memorial. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Addis Ababa on Tuesday for his maiden state visit to Ethiopia, marking a milestone in India-Africa ties. He was warmly received at the Bole International Airport by Ethiopian Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali, Foreign Minister Dr. Gideon Timothewos, Cabinet Affairs Minister and Women and Social Affairs Minister. The arrival featured vibrant traditional drums and cultural dances performed by enthusiastic Ethiopian children, symbolizing deep friendship between the two nations. Prime Minister of Ethiopia extended an extraordinary welcome to Prime Minister Narendra Modi upon his arrival in Addis Ababa airport, setting the tone for a visit marked by warmth and mutual respect. In a rare and unique display of personal hospitality, the Ethiopian leader went a step further, driving Prime Minister Modi himself to the hotel. This unscripted moment reflected not only close diplomatic ties, but also a deep sense of camaraderie between the two leaders. The thoughtful gestures of Nobel Peace Prize winning Ethiopian Prime Minister highlighted remarkable respect and admiration for Prime Minister Modi. More than ceremonial, the moment symbolized a growing bond between India and Ethiopia, rooted in shared values, mutual trust and forward-looking partnership. Following his arrival in Addis Ababa, Prime Minister Modi held a brief courtesy introduction with Ethiopian Prime Minister at the Bole International Airport. During the introduction, both leaders also enjoyed traditional Ethiopian coffee, reflecting warmth and cordiality of the meeting. And later, Prime Minister Modi was welcomed at the hotel in a traditional manner. Indian classical dance performances, soulful Indian music marked the occasion, creating a vibrant and cultural atmosphere. The warm reception beautifully reflected India's rich heritage and added grace and charm to the moment. Prime Minister Modi, with Prime Minister of Ethiopia, visited the Science Museum in Addis Ababa. The museum is built on a 7-hectare space, hosting 2 major building complexes and several interactive exhibits that display local solutions in healthcare, finance, cybersecurity, geographic information systems, service industries, data analytics, manufacturing and robotics, among others. And DD India correspondent Deepika spoke with India's ambassador to Ethiopia and the African Union.
This is the first visit by the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji to Ethiopia. Visit of the Prime Minister brings a new dynamism, and this is taking place at a time when Ethiopia has come through a homegrown economic reform which has opened up its various sectors of economy, including banking, finance, capital market, industries, and through this a large number of relaxation of rules has taken place in the field of economy, trade and investment. So this gives us sufficient opportunity to see that which are the areas which may emerge as important sectors of cooperation. But at the political level also, both the countries have been continuously remained engaged at the highest level.
More than 150 active companies are contributing to the economy of Ethiopia. Investments led by Indians in Ethiopia has resulted in increased job opportunities as well. And when it comes to women's empowerment, India has become an inspiration for Ethiopia, giving more comfort, confidence and empowered space to women entrepreneurs, leading from the front as the voice of the Global South. DD India's Deepika had an interaction with economic development expert and Indian business women in Ethiopia who threw light on the crucial aspects.
Ethiopia, the land of origins, the Horn of Africa, and share a very rich cultural tie with India. Not only the culture, but also the trade relations are expanding at a rapid level between India and Ethiopia. To discuss more on this aspect, we are now joined by Mr. Sunil, who is the economic advisor, economic development advisor. When we talk about it, more than 150 Indian companies are actively working in Ethiopia. How does that expand the contribution of India's trade ties with Ethiopia and especially giving them more working opportunities?
You know, these 150 companies are offering 75,000 jobs to Ethiopians. That's one. Number two, they're contributing to the tax base here. We are one of the largest revenue generators for the country, and we are one of the highest taxpayers also. We are arguably the third largest investor in this country, and we are looking forward to grabbing the position number 2. And what we are seeing is the existing investors will be looking at expansion because of the reforms that have been set forth.
We also have with us Ms. Maitri. When we talk about opportunities, women and trade, how do you see all three of them connecting here in Ethiopia through India?
I think I would say that women empowerment goes hand in hand with this, at least in this country. This is what I have learned after coming here. I do come with Indian background. I'm very close to my Indian backgrounds. But when I came here, I realized that the culture here is such that women are not looked differently at all in the workspace. The working culture for women is very conducive. And it actually, like me being an outsider, but I'm not looked as an outsider here. With camera person Shubham and Lalit, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
And yoga has become an integral part of Ethiopian citizens and their lifestyle. Born in India, this rich practice has transcended all boundaries to win everyone's heart, keeping their mind, body and soul attuned. As Prime Minister Modi is in Ethiopia, DD India's Deepika had an exclusive interaction with Deborah, a yoga practitioner and health and wellness coach who talked about the importance of yoga and how it weaves a heartwarming story of India-Ethiopia cultural ties.
Yoga, a practice that began in India but is followed worldwide. Right now we are in Ethiopia, and here we got in touch with Ms. Deborah, who is a wellness coach, who is also a yoga practitioner. She teaches yoga and she's got many followers here as well in Ethiopia. Thank you so much for talking exclusively to DD India, Ms. Deborah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us about your inspiration of, teaching yoga. From where did you get the inspiration of teaching yoga and taking up yoga as one of the things that can dedicate your life and bring you to the aspects of life where you find yourself attuned to peace?
I grew up with yoga. I grew up here in Ethiopia. I went to an Indian school, the Indian International School. So yoga was part of my life. We chanted in the morning before school started, and the Asatoma Satgamaya chant. So that's how we started our day at the school.
How do you think yoga is, flourishing the ties between, strengthening rather the ties between India and Ethiopia in a much better way?
The ties between India and Ethiopia has been a very long years of tie, but the yoga has been since the recent years, in the 2000s, and it has been growing. It's a very big community right now.
All right. We also have with us the other people who really come here every day and practice yoga and make sure that they never miss it. Why do you think yoga is so important?
It gives us like the whole day strength and wisdom to make my day peacefully and successfully. It's like for my food, you know, I do every day in the morning yoga. Thank you.
It's so important when we talk about yoga because this has become a daily habit of everybody when we talk about it. So be it India, be it Ethiopia, or be it the question of cultural ties, everybody makes sure that yoga is followed. Why do you think, being a younger generation, yoga is so important to you, and how is it benefiting you?
Like yoga helps me clear my mental barricades and increase my focus in studies and exams so I can perform better in the future.
So there you heard from the followers, the practitioners of yoga, who say that yoga is not only for the well-being of one's mind, body and soul, but also to keep one healthy and keep one going through the daily activities of their life. With camera person Shubham and Lalit, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Ethiopia.
Yoga bringing India and Ethiopia together. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Ukraine President Zelensky says using Russian frozen assets would help Kiev balance out decrease in support from some partners. Association of Tennis Professionals will roll out a new health policy from next year to better protect players in extreme conditions.
This week on Defense Dynamics, as Bangladesh eyes the Eurofighter, we decode the strategic message it sends across South Asia. Also, with the US clearing an F-16 package for Pakistan, we will tell you what it means for India and how the region should read this signaling. We'll also tell you why China's much-hyped J-35A stealth fighter is running into reality, aggressively marketed yet with no buyers. And in my take, we decode China's WZX and GJX UAV push to dominate the pre-war battle space and why it is not a challenge for India. Stay tuned this Wednesday at 8 p.m. IST only on DD India.
For sustainability to become more than just a statement, it needs to be practical and seamlessly fit into our lives.
If we are thinking about a net zero economy. And obviously automobile sector is at the center of this transformation. Instead of buying new vehicle, if I can retrofit and upgrade my existing vehicle, environmentally speaking, it is superior.
Zero waste means repair, reuse, analyze.
We realized that if women became involved in decision making and generated income, the whole family would benefit. Before, we needed a lot of manpower to handle the waste. But now, with the conveyor belt,
it converts the waste into electricity, powering 2 farms.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, is in Israel for a 2-day visit. Minister Jaishankar on Tuesday met his Israeli counterpart, Gideon Saar, in Jerusalem. Both leaders held productive discussions on India-Israel strategic partnership and its further advancement across various domains. The ministers exchanged perspectives on regional developments, the Gaza peace plan, efforts to achieve lasting and durable peace. During a press conference, Minister Jaishankar said India and Israel share a strong and close relationship and both countries believe in a zero-tolerance policy against terrorism while continuing to strengthen partnership for the future between the two nations.
India and Israel are concerned. We are both countries who have a policy of zero tolerance towards terrorism. We appreciate your consistent support to our fight against terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. Today, Minister, we will, as you noted, be discussing our strategic partnership, which has really developed very significantly in the last decade. It has a G2G dimension, a B2B dimension, one between P2P between peoples as well. I would say it's really, there are a very large number of domains today that our relationship touches in one form or the other. But what we will do, building on the work plan which our teams have finalized, is really to address ourselves to the task of purposing our relationship for the world that awaits us.
On Tuesday, President Draupadi Murmu was in Karnataka's Mallavalli, where she inaugurated 1066th Jayanti celebrations of Adi Jagadguru Shiva Ratrishwara Shiva Yogi Mahaswami of the revered Sutur Mutt. Speaking at the event, President highlighted the role that institutions like the Sutur Mutt can play in achieving the government's vision of holistic development of India.
A developed India requires the integration of modern education with moral wisdoms, innovation with environmental responsibility, economic growth with social inclusion, and progress with compassion. The Government of India is working with this holistic vision. Institutions like Sutur Mutt can play a substantial role in this national endeavor.
President Murmu also spoke about the contribution of spiritual institutions in dissemination of human values like tolerance, mutual respect, and collective responsibility.
Our spiritual institutions remind us of the values that binds humanity together, the values of compassion, tolerance, mutual respect, and collective responsibility. These are not merely ideals of the past. They are essential foundations for a strong and harmonious modern world.
Let's turn to updates from the ongoing winter session of Indian Parliament. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan introduced the Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhisthan Bill 2025 in Lok Sabha today. The bill provides for establishment of Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhisthan as an apex body, along with three councils: Viksit Bharat Shiksha Vinayam Parishad, or the Regulatory Council; Viksit Bharat Shiksha Gunavatta Parishad, or the Accreditation Council; and Viksit Bharat Shiksha Manak Parishad, or the Standards Council. Rooted in the principles of NEP 2020, the reform strengthens institutional autonomy, accreditation and academic standards of higher education institutions, creating an enabling environment for excellence in education, research and innovation. The institutions will be encouraged to become autonomous by achieving highest level of quality through public disclosure. Under this framework, all higher education institutions currently under the Ministry of Education, UGC, AICTE and NCTE will come under Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhisthan, ensuring consistency, quality and global competitiveness. The Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhisthan Bill 2025 marks a landmark reform aligned with the vision of Prime Minister Modi to modernize India's higher education system. On 12th December 2025, Union Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister, approved the Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhisthan Bill for the introduction in Parliament. Moving on, India is celebrating Vijay Diwas today. It commemorates the anniversary of victory of Indian armed forces in the 1971 India-Pakistan War, in which about 93,000 Pakistani soldiers surrendered, which resulted in the liberation of Bangladesh. The war began with Pakistan launching preemptive airstrikes against 11 Indian air bases on 3rd December. The war was a consequence of genocide of people of East Pakistan, which was carried out by the military regime of General Yahya Khan of Pakistan. The war, which was short and intense, was fought on both eastern and western fronts. The 13-day war resulted in complete surrender by the Pakistani forces, the creation of Bangladesh, and India's rise as a power to reckon with. With the decisive victory over the adversary, Indian armed forces affirmed themselves as a strong component of India's national power. Celebrations are also underway in Bangladesh, commemorating the Liberation War of 1971. Marking the occasion, both India and Bangladesh invite each other's war veterans and serving officers to participate annually in one another's Victory Day celebrations. On the 54th anniversary of Liberation War, 8 valiant Mukti Jodhas and 2 serving officers of Bangladesh Armed Forces reached India on Monday to participate in Vijay Diwas celebrations in Kolkata. Similarly, 8 Indian war veterans and 2 serving officers of Indian Armed Forces reached Dhaka to participate in Bangladesh's Victory Day celebrations. These visits provide a platform for Bangladeshi Mukti Jodhas and Indian war veterans to celebrate the unique friendship between the two countries and renew memories of the Liberation War. Dutch Prime Minister Dick Schoof held a joint press conference with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the Netherlands. Speaking at the joint press conference, Zelensky said that using the Russian frozen assets would help Kiev balance out a decrease in support from some of its partners. According to the Ukrainian leader, a decision by European Union to use frozen Russian assets to support Kiev was crucial. This comes after Council of Europe diplomatic conference was held to discuss handling compensation claims. Let's now turn to all the action from the world of sports. The Association of Tennis Professionals, or ATP, will roll out a new heat policy from next year to better protect players in extreme conditions. The rule uses wet bulb globe temperature system to decide when cooling breaks or stoppages are needed. A 10-minute cooling break can be taken after a set 2 once temperatures hit 31 degrees Celsius, while play will be halted entirely if the readings rise above 32.2 degrees Celsius. The move aims to safeguard athletes and improve conditions for everyone on court, including officials and ball crews. The governing body of men's tennis and the policy has been announced after a string of retirements due to soaring temperatures and punishing humidity at the Shanghai Masters this season. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan this QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.